Fala, jogadores. Bom, depois de ter atravessado a ponte, a gente continua com a jornada da Senua.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father's in-bell made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
Already disappeared.
Nothing lives here, not even you.
It's pointless.
It's in your mind. You think you can see it, but it's in your mind. There he was, the lone figure of a boy. Swordplay under the shade of a tree. She remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes, he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him. The gloom lifted, and for the first time in years she felt a ray of hope.
He's there, under the tree.
You have to keep Dillian is waiting for you. Keep going.
Watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance. Wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
No. It's a trick. It's an illusion. It's not real. Do you really think
You want to believe it's real, but it's a trick.
you're deluded?
Where are you going?
Where is she going?
What is she following?
You can't even fight. It's just deception.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it, just like he does.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Just come and watch. And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who is supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are. But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all. Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy you.
They won't stop me. I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here.
No.
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Shut up! Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
Tree. Can you see him? You want to believe it. Is he not real? Is he there?
You're alone in these mountains.
Is that Dillian?
Nothing lives here.
You won't survive.
You met him by the tree.
She met him by the tree.
Maybe it's a sign, the tree.
What's he trying to tell you?
He's waiting for you by the tree.
the Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses him, so King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with an army, not a warm welcome. King Siggeir captures Sigmund and his brothers, steals his coveted sword, and readies them for execution. Its name is Gramr. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gramr by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands, where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard.
Go to the shards.
What's the shard? Find it.
It's the metal runestones.
It's in front of you. Find it. The metal. The runes.
You need that sword.
Go to the shard.
Where is it?
Find it. There it is.
Focus.
There's the shard. Focus.
Focus.
Use your eyes. Look.
Get closer.
What can you see?
A king in the north forced the dwarves to make a sword that would never fail and never rust, and that would slice through iron and stone and bring victory to its bearer. But the angry dwarves cursed it. It would be the death of a man every time it was drawn, and it would be the death of the king. Let me tell you about the sword Tyrving.
I don't recognize this place.
Where are we? Where is she? It feels wrong. Where are we now? Burial mound. So strange that we go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspired to hide death, because we have no answer for it. But when it comes, and forces itself onto our friends or loved ones, then comes the reckoning.
I can feel the dead in the air. You can feel the dead. Why would Dillian do this?
Turn back.
Why would he bring her here? It's not safe here. Why would he do something so dangerous?
It can't be Dillian. He would never bring you here.
Dillian would never do that.
Don't go in there.
Go in. You have to go in.
Take the torch.
It's too dark. Take it. This will help you.
Careful.
You have to be able to see.
Who's Dillian, I'm here. I'm here for the trials. Like when we first met, remember?
He's gone. Where's he gone? Where's he gone?
How did you let him go again?
You let him leave.
He disappeared
How
again.
could you?
Find him.
You have to find him.
This is your mission. Find him.
You have to use him.
I'll find him.
What was that? Did you hear that? Nothing. Was that voices?
Is that his voice or the voice of the dead?
Not Dillian.
Dillian's calling to you. Can you
Where
hear
is
him?
he? Where is he?
He sounds like he's getting further away.
Have you lost him?
You're going the wrong way.
Are you lost and have you lost him?
Where are you? Turn left.
Turn right.
Over this way.
What was that?
This way. Follow
This
those walls.
You don't know what they might do.
Turn back.
She has to keep going.
It's not safe here.
She has to keep going.
If you go down there, no one can save you.
It's too scary.
Find another way. It's not working.
You have to use your mind. Where can you go?
You're failing. Find another way.
Think.
Focus.
Use your mind.
Where's he gone? He's disappeared. You let him slip through your fingers.
I can hear him.
Have to find another way. There has to be another way.
Senua, you remind me of a story that the Northmen tell about a young woman warrior. Her name is Herver, the daughter of a berserker, born after he was killed. She's a wild, willful child who teaches herself to fight with weapons. When she learns where her father is buried, her only desire is to reclaim the treasure buried with him, but above all, the sword, Tyrving.
The voice is getting louder. Listen.
Dillian.
Listen.
It's him.
Listen. It's getting louder.
There he is.
You're getting closer.
Keep going.
Senua, follow the voice.
You're nearly there.
Dillian's voice.
It's him. He's going to save you.
Find the voice.
Find him. It's not him.
It's not
We told you. We told you it was a trick.
That voice doesn't sound like Dillian.
What's happening?
Quiet.
It's not him.
He wants me to find him. I'm lost without him.
That's not Dillian.
That doesn't sound. What's in there?
What is it?
A secret room.
Pass.
How do you get in there?
How does she get in?
Maybe you can't.
There's no way in.
Find a way.
There has to be a way.
Find a way.
There's always a
That voice. It's not Dillian.
close to stone. It's in there.
If only we could see life through each other's eyes, there would be no hatred. We only hate what we fear. We only fear what we cannot see. Your father and I will keep on trying, but his gods will not let him avert his gaze. But if he could, he would know not to turn his anger on us.
Wants me to face my fears.
Father? I'm leaving. I've decided. I think it will be good for me.
It's the darkness. It's speaking through
No,
you.
Dad, it's me. I think I can beat it. In my own way.
I can see the darkness in your eyes, child.
I met a boy.
Boy.
The chieftain's son.
No.
He said he could help me.
It's a trick.
He said I could be normal.
Normal?
Yes.
No boy is going to save you. No one can. When they see the rot growing inside you,
No!
they will turn their back on you. The gods can only fix you through my hand. You're going nowhere.
No.
You will not defy the gods. Come, child, take my hand. Come. Senua.
I am leaving!
You cannot escape the darkness. Your curse will make everyone suffer. You will have blood on your hands!
It's done.
You did it.
But there's more.
Keep going.
There's more.
You're tired, but you have to keep going.
There's still more.
There's always more to do.
It's not going to be easy.
You're getting tired. Can you do another one? It's too much. Have you got the energy?
She hasn't got the energy.
No. Too much to do.
Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens. I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Balder. The second son of Odin. He was beautiful, good, and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
You've come this far, but the bridge is broken.
There's no way you can fix it.
What do you do now, Senua?
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything in the world: fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness, swear an oath not to harm her son. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Balder's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
Dillian, we're nearly here.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Follow it. What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It's not safe.
Believe in you.
Dillian, there he is.
There he is.
What are you waiting for?
Quick, find a way.
Find him.
Go through it before he disappears.
Dillian,
Don't lose him.
way too many times.
You always let him disappear.
Where is he?
Where's he
We're
gone?
meeting him. We're in the wrong world.
He's not here.
She's in the wrong world.
He's not in this world.
He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
The dark.
Remember him whispering the dark world.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillian taught her to see further, to peek through the cracks and see the worlds of color stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Balder, striking at him with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Balder's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Balder's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
You can't go up there.
You can't go up there.
Not in this world.
No, not in this world. You can't. Senua, you've got it.
Why isn't he here?
Do you remember? He's gone the way.
He's in the dark world.
He's gone to the dark world.
You're in the wrong world.
He's in the other world.
The dark world.
Without you. Why didn't she listen to me? She thought she could do She thought she had light within her. She is pure darkness.
You kill the things you love with your curse.
You kill the things that are most precious to you.
There he is. Where are you taking me?
He's up there.
How do you get up there?
There's a way. There is a way up there.
Find the way.
She can do it. You're nearly there. Just find the way.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Balder. The blind god, Húð, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Húð says, "I cannot see where Balder stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon." Loki replies, "Here is a wand. I will tell you where he stands." And Húð throws the mistletoe at Balder. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Balder is killed. And for this, Húð is slain.
The curse crossed.
Dillian doesn't know who killed him, but we do.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Balder. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea, and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Baldur's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Baldur's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement. An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel and her past, and Dillian, her future.
Look what happens to the things you love.
Two realities tearing at her soul.
You have no chance.
Nobody will love you again.
Ever again.
You kill.
You just have no time for this. Speak to his father when you have the chance.
His love has tortured you and trials to distract you.
They've set you up and now they're going to watch you fall.
What if these trials mean nothing?
God's laughing at you.
What if they take you no closer to Dillian?
That's Dillian and you're letting this get in the way.
What if they are just to tire you out, to make you weak before the battle?
Everything gets broken in the end.
Killed him with your love because he believed in you.
He saved you.
Loves you.
You owe him.
His love keeps you strong.
What if they're all about wasting your time, just delaying minute by minute by minute?
The way he stroked your hair.
What does she think she's doing? You're not special. She thinks she can
They mean nothing.
be special.
Waste of time.
It could all be a waste of her time.
The gods are just
Playing,
What if the gods are laughing at her?
messing with her.
It wouldn't be this.
The first time. Do you even remember?
His love is guiding you.
Do you think she remembers him?
So you're
You're cursed. squashed it, strangled it, flattened it.
The curse cannot be undone. Look what
Do you remember the way he looked?
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Balder return home. All the gods are weeping, he says. Are they? Asks Hela. We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Balder stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Balder, weep him out of Hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they find in a cave. Balder was never my friend, she says. Let Hell keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
You are guilty.
was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
You're still alive and Dillian's dead. He doesn't deserve to be dead.
How does that make you feel?
Dillian undoes the curse.
What does it feel like to feel a love so strong?
What if this is pointless?
What are you doing? Why did you think you could...
The Northmen tell how the gods punished Loki for Balder's death. They captured him and took him to a cave. They fetched his 2 sons and turned one into a wolf, and he ripped his brother apart. The gods used Loki's own son's entrails to tie him down and turned these bonds to iron and dangled a poisonous serpent over his face so that its venom would drip onto him. Each time the venom drips onto Loki's face, he writhes in agony. The Northmen say that is the cause of earthquakes. A reminder, perhaps, that if even gods must accept death, then so must we.
You
killed him. You couldn't see the darkness within you.
The curse strangled just like it strangled him.
directly upon the druids, like her father, Zinbel. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see. And he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. Slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
Very careful.
You've come this far, don't make it slip away.
It's a narrow bridge. And there's a long way to fall. Where's he gone? It's your fault. He's disappeared. You've lost him to the sea. He's gone. You've lost him to him. Just come to the water. He's drowned.
Senua. Your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So if someone is afraid of the dark, should we fix them by taking away their sight? Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is this the price you pay for the gift you have? A gift that makes you so special in my eyes. Just another part of the person I love.
I left for the wilds to protect you from my darkness. Because I love you. But it made it worse. I'm so sorry.
What if this is pointless? What if you're wrong? What if this has nothing to do with the sword? What if we're wrong? The sword will never be yours. What if this is the end? It's just
Beleza, gente, depois de completar aí
You've been fooled
dois
before.
dos testes de Odin, a gente encerra aí por hoje.
It's just their game for
Espero
you.
que tenham
You'll never know
gostado
which way it's going.
e a gente se vê na próxima. Até breve.